It can be said that Star Wars shaped human history. Every single sci-fi movie has drawn inspiration from the iconic franchise. And who better to play the leading man than Mark Hamill? But apparently, Hamill didn't think he would get the part when he went in for his audition and believed another actor deserved it way more. So keep watching to find out who and why. Starting off with, Mark Hamill talks about his reaction when he was cast. The actor discussed his first screen test with Harrison Ford and said he initially believed Han Solo would be the lead. Harrison had the makings of a leading guy, so he initially thought Ford was Captain America and he was Bucky. Mark Hamill was entitled to that opinion, and any normal person would have said the same. Han Solo is the kind of character with Protagonist written all over him, and at the time, Hamill was more of an unknown talent. But instead, he ultimately got the script and discovered that Luke was to be the protagonist of the franchise. Now it's difficult to see Luke Skywalker being anything other than the main character. It's also difficult to picture anyone other than Hamill playing the part. The fact that George Lucas' original trilogy became one of the most recognizable media franchises of all times is a testament to his crystal clear vision for it. Who knows how Star Wars would have turned out if Han Solo, played by Harrison Ford, had taken the place of Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker. Even though Luke is crucial to Darth Vader's entire redemption story, the film would likely have become legendary. It might have turned out more like Solo, a Star Wars story, if Han Solo had been the main protagonist. More on how Harrison Ford almost lost his role as Han Solo. Even though Harrison Ford is one of the most well-known performers of his time, many people immediately link him to his portrayal of Han Solo when they see his face, but the role almost slipped through his fingers. Ford received a reputation for not being asked to audition for the part, but was asked to read the lines for other actors who were trying out for different parts. It wasn't until Ford entered the room that it was obvious that he was the ideal choice to portray the sly smuggler. After the audition process, George Lucas decided that either Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher were to be cast together, or the roles would have to be given out to 3 different actors. Another actor who went through the audition process for the part of Han Solo was Robert Englund, who would become famous for his portrayal of Freddy in the Nightmare on Elm Street films. Although it's unknown how close Englund was to getting the role, his audition was one of the most significant in Star Wars history. Englund recalls reading the script and not thinking he would be a good fit for the role of Han Solo, but he decided that his roommate, a young actor named Mark Hamill, would be suitable for a different role. To get Hamill to try out for the lead role of Luke Skywalker, Englund took the script home and presented it to him, and the rest is history. Moving on, nobody could have played Luke Skywalker better. The similarity between Mark Hamill's and Luke Skywalker's hero's journey is one of our favorite aspects of Star Wars: A New Hope. If you scroll through Hamill's early career, you'll mostly find weird television cameos and small roles until you land on Star Wars: A New Hope. The movie smashed onto the scene, and his performance transformed the entire world. Luke Skywalker, a young, unsuspecting farm boy on Tatooine, was the center of everything. Hamill, who was only 24 when he began portraying the enduring character, was hesitant about his ability to carry such a huge role at the time and said he was about to puke when he saw himself in the first movie. Next up, how he transformed Luke from a farm boy to a Jedi. Mark Hamill knew that Star Wars: A New Hope was always intended to be the trilogy's first chapter. From his first appearance, Luke Skywalker's development into a mature Jedi Knight was planned. Hamill discussed how he adapted his acting to Skywalker's storyline in a 1977 interview with The Village Voice. His strategy seemed to fail for him when he saw the movie for the first time. Even though it made the actor cringe and he regretted it later, being a whiny Luke Skywalker was all by design. Hamill made fun of the fact that he had to change from a wormy guy at the movie's start to someone who could be looked up to as a hero by the end. Since Hamill didn't realize he would be thrust into the heart of the Star Wars world when he took the job, he appeared to channel Skywalker's innocence in real life. If some other big-name actor had taken the role, perhaps we wouldn't have gotten the same transformation. More on Rian Johnson on handling Mark Hamill in his series. In an interview with Empire, director Rian Johnson said that after the movie's release, he has grown more proud of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Although the director insists that his intention was not to destroy the heart of the Star Wars universe, and most fans disagreed, Hamill expressed his shock and disappointment over J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson murdering his character, as well as Han Solo in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Hamill was upset when he discovered that Luke would never see his best friend again. He said that although he was being selfish, he knew it was a huge mistake for the original 3 to never be reunited again. Hamill acknowledged that the way his return was presented left him feeling duped and bamboozled. The actor acknowledged that the new trilogy should be all about the next generation and agreed with the trilogy's emphasis on its new cast. The old team had to make way for the newer heroes, but Skywalker felt his ending had been wasted. Screen time wasn't the central issue of Hamill's remarks about the trilogy, and he said that the films had completely disregarded what kind of person Luke Skywalker was. The first time they had planned to show 3PO, Hamill was supposed to just walk past him. The actor flat out refused. Next, Did they ruin Mark Hamill's character? No one would disagree that The Last Jedi is well made, but the two main criticisms are how it threw out what was established about Luke Skywalker. Others consider the movie overly self-aware and more focused on the message than the characters, while some regard it as a great critique of what Star Wars can be. Johnson's interpretation of the movie is fascinating, especially regarding how its message doesn't revolve around denying the past. This is because many of The Last Jedi fans viewed this as the movie's theme in 2017 and praised it as the franchise's ideal future course. After all, it's odd that Mark Hamill's Luke Skywalker, who was essential at the movie's message, wasn't informed of it or given any thought to how he would interact with 3PO. The original Star Wars trilogy was similarly based on Johnson's emphasis on myth, but Luke, Han, and Leia were the heroes and the heart of that epic. The sequel trilogy appeared to some fans to be more concerned with what it intended to say and what it would suddenly decide to do than with thoroughly developing its new ensemble of characters. During this time, original characters who were created to serve as representations of the original message were actively killed off. Luke's passing gave the impression that Lucasfilm was severing links with the franchise's foundation without offering anything concrete in return. Would the public have responded differently to Luke's passing if just one person had directed the entire trilogy? Finally, Hamill's view on the prequels. Hamill expressed his admiration for the prequels' unique personalities, but they were critiqued because they were more cerebral and exposition-heavy, and perhaps because they weren't as commercial. It is a much more sinister tale. Hamill continued by expressing his disbelief at the hatred some users on social media can unleash, whether it be about Star Wars or something else. But George Lucas expressed his disapproval of the problematic sequel trilogy and said that he was angry when he saw Han Solo being killed. To both Hamill and him, there was no logic or sense to it at all. The new directors didn't understand the Jedi story and had missed out on the Star Wars charm. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. What did you think of Mark Hamill's portrayal of Luke Skywalker? And could Harrison Ford have done a better job? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.